Hello. So today I'm going to be going over just the big changes to GSA modifications that took place from 2023 into 2024. So in the beginning of 2023, here's kind of a quick rundown, and I'm going to go deeper into this later. GSA, we used to be able to do it one way, and I really preferred that other way, to be honest. And then the GSA, didn't release anything, but this was just in the chatter that I was getting back from, contracting officers and specialists. They were saying, no, we'd really like you to start submitting your modifications in this new way. So we're going to go deep into the old way and the new way, the differences, and then we're going to go into the results. When these changes went through, how did that impact speed, quality? How did it overall, impact the overall just system of how GSA contractors work with the GSA. Let's take a little dive back and go into what a GSA modification even is. So this is the GSA's guidance page on modifications, and it goes into a lot of the documents that are needed. These are required documents, templates, and whatnot. The one that I really go by, this is the North Star for GSA consultants. It just basically tells us a rundown in 86 pages of what a modification should have, especially the different types of mods. So you can see like there's admin mods, there's add mods, this third one here. There's delete mods, price modifications like economic price adjustments, all those different types of mods. So there's even price reductions, and then it goes into other ones that are more obscure. So there's all of those. It gives you samples of the cover letter and all the documents that are required for each type of mod. So there you go. That's, if you want to know that, down below I'll put a link. Here's the document that's probably what I'd say is the most important. This is the spreadsheet that is the GSA's template to handle or communicate to the GSA what the modification is taking place. So this is the one that relates to services. You can see there in the tab. There's a README first, so you can obviously go through all that if you want to. And then this tab A, we call it, because it's got that little A right there. It represents what the modification or the price list offered to GSA is intended to look like once the modification is approved. And then the EPA, non-TDR, this one here, services tab B, this is an important one. And then if you have escalation, there's that. But tab B is a really big one. And then the EPA one is as well. And this part of the template just kind of walks you through how to communicate what the changes actually are. So just to recap real fast, tab A, what the final result will look like, tab, EPA or tab B, what changes are happening. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown. This is all just to kind of take you into the next step, which is all the way over here. So yeah, let's go into the old way. There we go. Let's do the old way in red. What do you say? Sounds good. All right, so let's do blue actually. So the old way used to be you got to do an add mod, and maybe there was a couple items being deleted, and then maybe even there were a couple price increase ones. So let's just keep it simple and use plain language. Dollar increase. So these were all different mod types. We all wanted to accomplish all that. So old price list has the old items. The new price list involves adding items, deleting some items, and increasing some items. Cool. Hopefully it makes sense. So the old way, you used to be able to put all this into a mod. I called that a combo mod. Combo mods were great. They would let you submit multiple things at once, but they did have a downside. What was the downside? Complexity. Complex to build, and also complex to review on the GSA side. So they did take a while. The pluses were that combo mods were done when they were done, and the price list was through, and boom, everything's finished. So that's kind of that. Now the GSA, they don't think too much about what it's like to build it. They give their guidance and they need what they need. But on the review side, they had some big problems with that, especially as there was a lot of GSA turnover. So because of that, we're looking at simplifying. They wanted things to get simpler. So in order to do that, they basically came to the realization that we have a lot of new KOs, or actually in the GSA world, COs, and these COs are being trained, and they're getting these mods like this. Oh, I think my pen died. There we go. They're getting these mods like this with all these changes, and they're basically not sure what to do with them. There's too much, too complex. We can't handle them, GSA says. So they come up with a new way. And the new way is basically, start off with let's go and do this in green. The new way, we had an add, we have a delete. You can see I'm spacing them out a little bit. You'll see why in a minute. And a price increase. So we've got an add, we're deleting some items, and we're increasing the price on some items. Now, the new way, if you imagine, if a box is a modification, new way is doing them one at a time. Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan, a smart way to do it. It simplifies it for the GSA. So this confusion goes away. It's a lot easier. We submit the add mod. It's approved. Go down, submit the delete mod. It's approved. Go down, and then we submit this final price increase mod. It's approved, and then, yay! I don't know what's a good thing. Let's just do a little trophy. Yay! Trophy. We all win, right? Now that was the intention. Now, did that happen in practice? That's the question here, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. So, in practice, in the new way, what happened was, I always started with the delete mod, and those typically go through really quick. Let's say that one takes. Usually it would take a week or so because they're getting deleted. Not much for the GSA to check into. So let's say that takes like 7 to 10 days. Then I usually would go to an add mod. A little bit more complex because the GSA has to do price review and justify the pricing and all that stuff. So typically an add mod takes like, I would say 20 to 30 days. Oops. And 20 to 30 days is kind of on the faster side, to be honest. That's what's intended. I'll go into what actually happened with the results later. And I guess I am kind of getting into the results now. So it's a point over there. But then that EPA mod, it's really hard for especially newer folks at GSA that are just still kind of learning the ropes. There's a lot in the pricing justification, and they have to, in most cases, this kind of goes along with some shifts to the structure in GSA and how these are reviewed. So I'll go into that as well. So EPA is maybe like 30 to 45 days intended, a little more complex, and that's how it happens. So let's say on the long end, this is 40 plus 45. So we're talking about 85 days total to get those 3 modifications done. So what is that? That's about 90 days, 3 months. That's not even passable. Handwriting right there. There we go. See what happens when I try. So it takes 3 months to get these changes through. So that's cool. I mean, in the government world, things move slow. Everybody knows that. Everybody has a different level of tolerance, of course. Some people really know it, and other people still expect better. I'm talking about my customers now. And I guess myself to a degree as well. So these differences, let's track back a little bit. This single combo mod would normally go through in about like 2 to 3 months. So things did slow down as we went over there. It got slower. But the work was split up, so it did get more complex to build. And more docs, because I used to build one single PPT, the GSA price list that encompassed all of these, and now we're building 3 separate ones across 3 different kind of timelines. So the build got more complex and more docs. Now more documents is more time, right, for more review. And on the GSA side, that creates even more time, as well. It all kind of goes to it being slower. So now, promised I'd go into the structure. Another thing that kind of happened was GSA kind of had, a lot of people retire at once. It happens. So with these retirements, what happened was there used to be, let's say, there's 2 types of reviewers at GSA. We'll do this. There's CO. Let's say there's 3 COs in a, pretend department that we're making up right now. And then there are, a couple CSs, contract specialists, which are not as senior as a contracting officer, and they don't have as many responsibilities, but they kind of just help the CO. CO gives them work, and the CS does it, and then sends it back to the CO for review, and then the CO approves it or gets back to the CS and says, you got to do more. This is kind of the way the old model was. Now, the new model, when let's say 2 COs retire. They didn't die. I'm just crossing them out with red X's because they retired. And this is the new model. We have 1 CO left. And they hire on 2 new CSs to replace those COs. CS, 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 CS. This is, the way that it was working. Now the CSs were brought in to review these documents, and then the documents would go to the CO for final review. So all of that was happening. So a lot of CSs working. COs, as you can imagine, are getting overloaded. The structure is, kind of bursting at the seams. You can tell. Now, of course, it's temporary. I think things are going to get better in 2024 as a CS moves up. Let's say these 2 CSs move into the CO role, and then that puts us right back in this place where we were with COs to more COs to CSs as a ratio. So there's 2 things that are happening right there. We had a retirement, kind of a brain drain in many GSA departments in 2023, and then also we had a change in the document submission requirements. And I mean, you're not going to find those requirements, or at least I didn't, written anywhere. This is all stuff that was just emailed and spoken to me on phone calls. Like, hey, you submitted this big combo mod. I need you to break that up into an add, a delete, and all of its parts. And I don't want you to submit anything overlapping. That was a really big part of this too. You submit the add mod, and then you have to wait until it's approved to get the delete mod completed, and then you wait for that delete mod to go, and then you get it approved, and then you have the EPA mod that you can submit. So being staggered like that created this timeline that's increased. So all of that, to kind of give you an explanation into why modifications take so long nowadays in the last half of 2023 and going into 2024. Now there's kind of another part to go into this, and that's just that the workload for us here at GSA Focus, as a result, here's kind of another result. Our workload increased a lot because we are having to complete a modification, not just one complicated mod like this. We are completing one and then another and then another, and the document burden went up. So more docs. In fact, let's just do this. We have complex build. So on our end, more docs. And we have a timeline now, because we can't just prepare the add mod and then make the delete mod and the EPA mod and submit one and let these sit, because the GSA at this part of the timeline might have like a refresh. They just had refresh, I believe 19. So this refresh creates whole new documents that we would have to take this delete mod and rebuild it again, and then submit it. And then let's say there's another refresh, and then even though we built all this, it's useless now. We'd have to do it again. So we've had to adapt the way we do it, keep it very logical and procedural, and try to make it as fast as possible. But also we can't just duplicate our work over and over and over. Nobody wants to do that, and we would hate to. We can't really bill for that either. Hey, we can't bill for. Nobody wants to get billed for work that their consultant did and had to throw out, right? So more docs. Complex build, timeline management. Now we have to manage the timeline, and slower CSs means more check-ins. We check in on all the mods, and that results in more emails and correspondence and transparency with customers, because we can't just sit around and not tell you what's going on. So yeah, this has created quite a increase in workload for us, and as a result, we've had to change the way that we are billing and managing our maintenance plans. So you will see changes to our maintenance plans, where we are going to have kind of a retainer, and then as you need a mod, it's just going to be ad hoc. You need a mod? Great, here's a mod. We finished it. It's this many dollars. Great, we're done. Need another mod? Okay, let's do it all over again. Several months pass, we do another one, there we go. So that's just the way that we're going to kind of be doing it now, because our maintenance as a service is just breaking or broken with these changes that the GSA threw in after we implemented them. So hopefully this helps. So I hope you found this insightful. That was a deep dive into everything that's been going on with GSA the past year. and what we're expecting in the next year. Things will probably improve as GSA contracting specialists get more kind of better at their job and better learn the ropes and move up into a contracting officer role. That we want that to happen. They're all pretty much all good people. I mean, I love working with almost everybody at GSA, even the new people that I haven't worked with a whole lot. They're all very nice, very pleasant. They're trying to do their best, do a good job, just like we are. But they have a lot to learn, and it's a pretty high risk job as well. If they mess up, it could lead to some bad stuff as far as government spending goes. So there's a lot of accountability and liability in that position. So all of that's there. This new plan is more work for us, so we are going to be charging what turns out to be higher. But the way that we also structured is you're only going to be paying for what you use, and if you don't need services for a year, you don't pay for them for a year. We're just going to have the retainer to keep you covered on general maintenance, keeping your advisory. So everybody, seems all our customers have a question at one time or another during the year. So we're always going to be there for you with our retainer. If you're not on a retainer, we'd love for you to jump on a retainer so that we can help you in that way. But we don't have the time or the bandwidth to just answer questions for a customer that we got your contract 10 years ago. That's not really something we could do. We can't do your mass mods. We can't, in fact, we are going to remove ourselves as an authorized negotiator, and we are always happy to throw ourselves back in there. But yeah, if you're not a customer, we can't really give you service. It's, we don't work for free, neither do you. So that's all going to be coming in. Modifications we're expecting to have a smaller pool of customers that will be getting a much better, quicker service. So if you choose to jump in, and we really love and appreciate the ones that all of our customers that jump onto our maintenance plans, we're going to be taking really good care of you. We have something really exciting, just procedural and automation and just changes. Our team is getting super just very much up to speed. We've got an amazing operations team and our customer success as well. So yeah, that's about all I've got. If you've got questions, drop them below or email me, josh@gsafocus.com. Thanks so much for watching.